Well, good morning, everyone. I'm David Paul. I'm the Managing Director of VectorVest here in the UK. This morning, I want to try and talk you through my views on the markets. And we'll start with the UK market. That's the VectorVest composite of the UK. It's an equally weighted index of all 2,200 shares that we follow on the London stock market and on AIM. As you can see, it's doing its best to get up through the February highs. And all the market timing systems on VectorVest from short term to the longest term system, which I've in fact got on the chart at the moment. They're all positive. Okay, so pushing up through those February highs, as you can see, the overall market considerably stronger than the FTSE 100, which has got nowhere near the February highs yet. So all is good there. And a very similar situation in the American market. The American market, as you can see, well through those February highs. And again, every measure of the trend on the American market from short term to long term is up. However, folks, in both markets, our overbought and oversold markers are showing that the market has moved into a mega overbought situation. So we have to be careful. So any change in the narrative, and we could quite easily see a pullback here. But I suspect that this market's going to keep going. I looked at the overnight market a few minutes ago, and it had broken up from last night's close a few ticks. So all would seem to be good. And I'm holding many long positions in both markets. That's the SPX, folks, and the SPX clearly found a great deal of resistance around that 3,700 level. It would seem to be through that 3,700 level now, close to 3,722. The last time I looked, it was about 3,731. So hopefully we can have a very good day. It's good. Strange day today, of course, with Tesla being admitted to the S&P 500. So a very, very strange day in markets as we approach the end of the year. I'm reasonably optimistic and keeping my mind in the moment and holding positions. The big dogs have broken out. That's Amazon. I haven't got a position at myself. I've got a position in some smaller companies that have shown that have broken out first. But Amazon seems to have broken this long-term triangle that's been in place for a very, very long time. As you can see, down below, that blue line represents our forecast earnings per share, which is rising strongly. And another big dog, of course, is Apple. It's broken out and kissed. And again, earnings per share moving up very strongly indeed. So it looks to me technically as if we've got quite a strong move on our hands in the American markets. And as I say, I have 7 or 8 positions that I'm holding in the American market. I talk about them 2 or 3 times a week to all the VectorVest customers. In the UK, I like the look of Computer Center. It's run very strongly. It's left the February highs well behind. It then went sideways in what technicians would refer to as a bull flag, a perfect bull flag with 5 waves inside it, and it seems to have broken that on very, very good results. And you can see what the earnings per share is doing down below. So that looks as if it's got quite a long way to go. And Games Workshop, I've been holding Games Workshop in this campaign since April. And added to it as it pulled back to that last old high, and it would seem to be pushing up. It's well above the £100 level. I think it looks as if it wants to get back to that old high of 120 relatively quickly. And you can see what's happening to the earnings per share in the chart below the price. So both those look good. I'm fully invested in the UK market. I'm very aware of the overbought situation. Markets are stretched to the upside, but the trend is still strongly up. And I'm holding as long as that is in place. The gold market looking very interesting, folks. And those of you that are Fibonacci technicians will realize that that last low a week or so ago was exactly a 78% retracement of the big move up. And also it pulled back to those fairly obvious old highs. So pulled back in 3 main waves, and it's now pushing up, and with any luck, we've got a major move starting in gold. Nobody knows what's going to happen next, folks, but at the moment in gold stocks, we can risk very little to make quite a lot, and we can ask for no more as traders. And I have a position in Polymetal. And again, you can see Polymetal pulled back in 3 waves right to that 78% retracement that's quite common and is now pushing up. It's still above 17, off a tick or two this morning, but still above the 17 pounds level. And Polymetal, of course, being a FTSE 100 component. And then we go to the other side of the scale, which is a Pan-African Resources, a little mine that I know very, very well. And it's gone sideways during the gold sell-off over the last 3 months in pretty much a textbook type flag pattern. It would seem to have broken from that flag. And I've always noted on VectorVest that if you see a share that's consolidating sideways in a flag or any form of triangular pattern, and within that the earnings per share rises, then invariably it breaks out and breaks out strongly. And Pan-African Resources would seem to have broken out. Those of you that understand classical charting will know that the previous flag pole becomes the new target in what technicians refer to as a measured move. And that would take Pan-African Resources, if gold does move, pretty much up to the VectorVest valuation, which is 42 pence. So a very, very strong and big move ahead in Pan-African Resources. The key to the exercise, especially in something as volatile as a gold stock, is to be able to get into a position with very limited capital exposure with a huge reward. It's what the Americans call asymmetric risk to reward ratio. And if there is a secret, that's it. So I'm bullish about the stock market over the next 2 or 3 weeks into the end of the year. And the gold market looks as if it can move strongly as well. Many of the majors, such as Goldman Sachs, have got a target on gold of $2,200. If that's the case, then companies like Pan-African Resources and Polymetal will mint a heap of money during this period. I haven't talked about the rest of the commodity market, but certainly the copper price going strongly, and copper shares again will print an awful lot of cash during this period. So I think we're going to see a very, very strong 5 or 6 years ahead in the commodity market. So I think I'll be on here once before Christmas again. If we don't touch sides, have a very Merry Christmas, and I'll see you all in 2021.